Hello and welcome back to Word Magic. And today we're going to talk about expectations. And Apple here is going to help me for a little bit. So hit the ringer below to get notified of my new videos that are coming out. And sign up for my mailing list. Link is below. And we will get started here. Yes, so my desk is a little messy because today I had to do taxes. Lovely, lovely. Get them ready for the accountant, which they are now. So I am making this video now. In case you don't know who I am Yasmine Galenorn. I am New York Times, Publishers Weekly, and USA Today bestselling author of over 65 books. And I have 23 years in the business, 20 of it in traditional publishing, mostly New York, and 3 of it in indie. So I come to you from both sides of the fence. Now, as I said, today we're going to discuss expectations. And it's going to be brief. I'm going to tell you a little story. And the reason I'm talking about this is because someone left a comment last week which made me think. And he said, basically, thank you for this because it's validated my process, because I thought I was doing it wrong, and now I find out one of my favorite authors goes through the process of starting a book the same way I do, so I don't feel like it's wrong anymore. Paraphrased. Well, here's the point. What you think it should be isn't necessarily what it's going to be. And also, everybody is unique. You ask 10 writers what their writing process is, you will get 10 different answers. Just like when you ask 10 pagans what their worldview is, you're going to get 10 different answers. So, there is no one size fits all. There is no one way to do it. It's dependent on so many factors that there really can't be a single way to do things. So when you have someone telling you, you must do this, you must do that, unless it's a few things, like you must not plagiarize, which is cross board, good advice, or you must revise, well, that's good advice too. Everybody needs an editor. But unless you have someone telling you just some of those absolutes, nobody can exactly map out the way your path as a writer will be. And that goes for the way things are when you do begin publishing, when you do either get that first contract or decide to self-publish that first book. It may not be the way you think it is. And I will tell you a little story to that event. When I got my first contract, well, before I got my first contract, I had built up over the years this massive dream of what it would be like to be a published author, because that's what I wanted from the time I was a little girl. I had this vision in my head, and I mean vision. I would have a home in the country, and it would be beautiful, and I would have an office where it had French doors out to the garden, and I would go in my office in the morning and write, and I would be writing science fiction and fantasy, and then in the afternoon I would go out and I would walk in the garden and maybe take care of some of the plants and pick a few vegetables, and I would come in and I would have time to cook the meals and clean the house and can my own food and watch the shows I wanted to watch, and it would all be this lovely dream where I would just go through the day in a nice even pace. And also, I would be 107 pounds, and I would wear floral print dresses like Laura Ashley used to make. So, comes the day I get my first contract, and I'm sitting there in the car, and first I burst into tears because I'm so happy. And after I finally quit crying, all of a sudden I'm sitting there going, wait, I don't live in a house in the country, and we can barely pay the rent. We sure don't have enough money for, anything extra. And yeah, I don't have French doors out to a garden, and I am working really hard, and I don't have the time to like can my own food. And gee, I don't weigh 107 pounds, and I'm not wearing a floral print dress, and all this magical paradigm that I had created in my thoughts crashed down in around me, and I was like, I don't know what to think. Life isn't the way it was supposed to be when I got my first contract. Life is not anywhere near where it's supposed to be. And I had a little bit of a freak out session for a while, until I realized that sometimes things aren't the way they look in your head when they actually happen. And maybe you had built something up that really wasn't the way it was going to be. I had to learn to let go of the paradigm of how I thought it was supposed to be and let it be what it was in order to enjoy it. I could have destroyed that memory of the joy of getting my contract, getting that first contract, by being upset that it wasn't the way I thought it was supposed to be. It's still not that way. I do have a floral print dress on, only it has skulls on it too. It's not Laura Ashley. I am far from 107 pounds. I have 65 books out. I work my ass off most of the day, all day, almost every day. I have a beautiful house now, but it's not out in the country. And I could have gardens if I found someone who will do the gardening for me. I mean, I hire lawn care guys. I don't have time or energy to go out and take care of the lawn. I have a housekeeper who comes in once a week because same thing. And, this is a nice, beautiful house, and to keep it up takes time. So my paradigm of how I live as a published author is nowhere near what I thought it was supposed to be. And I sure as hell don't have the time to can my own food. Probably be better for my health if I could, but I don't have the time. And, I'm lucky if I get the time when I get the time to go out and wander through a garden or sit outside. I'm so grateful for that time because I need it by then. So yeah, life isn't exactly the way you think it's going to be when you achieve something you want. Leave an opening for it to be what it needs to be. My life is what it needs to be now. My life is enjoyable. I love it. It's like, would I like to be 107 pounds? Well, no, actually, not at this point. I'd like to lose some more weight. I've lost quite a bit. But you know what? I'm not waiting for that magical day to be happy. I have a loving husband. I have 4 beautiful cats. I have a career I love. I work my ass off. And it's what it is. And it's exciting. And, well, exciting for me. I don't think it's exciting for a lot of other people. The reality show, if they did a reality show surrounding authors, it would be the most boring freaking show on television. Anyway, so I guess what I'm saying is don't build up something in your head of how something is supposed to be. Whether it be the process of writing or what it will be like if you become a published author, when you become a published author. Don't build up this fantasy around it, because chances are reality is going to be different. And reality always has a squeaky wheel and a few bugs and cats that, delete your work, and power outages that kill your computer, and, just those days when you want to scream. Reality is all of that mixed up with the good. Let it be what it is. Let it evolve into what it needs to be for you. Don't try to force it into a mold. Don't do something just because somebody else does it that way and it works for them. So it should work for you. I am here to give you some advice and to talk about things like this. But when I tell you how I do something, when I tell you about my process, I'm telling you about my process. I'm telling you about what works for me, not what's going to work for you. You can try it out, see if it fits. If it doesn't, look for something else. Because that's the way most of life is finding things that work for you. If you always surround your life around the way somebody tells you the way you should, then it's never going to be fully your own life. And really, since we're all unique, I am the only one who can write my books in the world. You are the only one who can write your books in the world. You know, my marriage does not look like my friend's marriage, does not look like your marriage if you have one. Every single person has a unique experience in this world. Don't try to be somebody else. Be the best you that you can be. So, on that note, I will let you be for this week. And next week, you know, it's like I'll think about something else to talk about. Leave comments and questions below. Like this video if you liked it. You know, and don't forget, I just had the HALLOWED come out. I also have a couple books free. Links are below. So, yeah, go forth and make your life your own. And enjoy doing it. Honestly, you can't screw it up that bad unless you really try. You know, go make your life joyful. So, have a wonderful day, and I will talk to you next week. Bye.